You obviously weren't expecting the wicked, insensitive daughter-in-law. I have no doubt that's how he paints me. Am I wrong? I can't imagine what he's telling you. I mean, what does he say about us? I'm not as bad as you think I am. And there is a part of me that actually feels for Sunil. It's pretty clear you're only interested in one side of the story. He obviously has you under his spell.
Julia. Hello, is this Julia?
Yes.
Hello, Julia, this is Paul Weston.
We meet again.
This is...
Unexpected.
Yeah, unexpected to say the least. What happened?
You do not know?
All I know is that you were arrested and you were sent here. I've been trying Julia and our own for days.
So you are my first visitor.
Did something happen with Julia? Was somebody hurt?
No one's hurt, no one's harmed, Paul. Julia is probably out on the town with Ethan Barr, drinking champagne as we speak, toasting my imprisonment. Once I'm back in India, perhaps they would throw a big party.
What do you mean when you're back in India?
I'm being deported, Paul. I think I'll return to Calcutta by the end of the month. You see, I've been voted off the island, sir.
Nothing happened. Nobody was hurt.
It seems, in my case, your phone call to Julia was enough. After she hung up with you, she quickly locked her door and called up Orwan in Chicago. She told him to come home immediately. Your warning was the last straw, and she was frightened for her safety. Soon after, she called up the police. She told them how I pushed her and how she got hurt and how she got her stitches. The police came to the house and I arrived here on Warwick Street less than 4 hours after you made your call.
I don't know what to say. I'm sorry, Sunil.
No, you could not have known.
I'm certain that we can fix this.
There's no need for this, Paul.
I only called Julia because you gave me that cricket bat to hold for you. I was beginning to get anxious that you might hurt her.
You behaved with absolute honor, Paul. And I'm not disappointed in the outcome. I offer you my thanks.
I have to tell you that it just doesn't make sense to me.
The arrest was not only for Julia's 3 stitches. When the police arrived, they began to question about the incident, about my argument with Julia and how she got hurt and how she got her stitches and how she lost her balance and fell onto bookcase.
That's what you told them, that she lost her balance.
I told them I pushed past her and that she lost her balance and her falling to the ground was not my fault.
Was Julia in the room with you when you were telling this to the police?
She did exactly as I expected her to do. She insisted that I meant to push her. And then she started displaying the wound on her arm and the precise place where the stitches were removed. So they were obviously quite taken by what she had to tell. And she can be quite convincing, you know. So at this point, they requested my papers and I respectfully refused.
You refused to present your papers?
Yes, Paul. I assure you I was quite polite about it.
That's not the point, Sunil, whether you were polite or not. Why would you refuse to present your papers? You're not going to answer me.
I refused to present my papers because I chose not to present them. You see, there's no need for you to apologize.
Did you know they would arrest you if you refused to show your papers? And you knew if the police questioned you, they would request to see your papers. And for them to come question you, you needed Julia to call them. Jesus.
This was my only way home, Paul.
Your only way home?
My son would never let me leave. I needed someone to convince Julia that she should be frightened, that I might be a dangerous man. And shortly after I met you, I knew I had discovered a friend who would assist me on my journey.
What are you talking about? You discovered a friend? Are you fucking kidding me?
I can understand if you might be somewhat angry with me.
So our work together was a complete fiction.
A complete fiction now.
That's what it sounds like. You came into my office, you told me a pack of lies. Are you saying that you never had any... Are you saying that you never had any thoughts of hurting your daughter-in-law?
I had thoughts about many things.
Was everything a lie during our sessions?
No.
So what was true?
Great many things.
Like what?
Must we do this?
Where did you find the cricket bat?
I found it in the park, as I said I did.
But you had no intention of using it to harm anybody. So what about the stuff with Julia? The jealousy, the standing outside her door, the sneaking into her exercise room, her study and going through her desk. What about that?
I did those things, Paul.
All of them?
Many of those things happened.
What do you mean many? How many? What about Ethan Barr? Does Julia even know this guy?
Unfortunately, yes. Mr. Bill Fox is her star client.
And the purported affair, was that a fabrication too?
For my son's sake, I hope they are only friends. And I'll surely continue to worry about this when I'm back in Calcutta.
What about the dreams?
Since I've come to live at my son's place, I had several disturbing dreams.
The one with the animal at the shore?
The dream really happened, and it was quite strange.
And the other one with the dark-haired woman walking out of the woods?
Why do you wish to do this, Paul? There's no point. The most important thing, Paul, is that you have been a good friend to me.
I'm meant to be your therapist, not your good friend.
Isn't it possible to be both at once? Because you have certainly given me that impression. During our first meeting, you brought out the ashtray and gave me permission to smoke. Many in your position would not have made this allowance. You said so yourself. The second time we met, we shared tea. We spoke of our wives, our families. I was under the impression that you enjoyed our conversations, that we understood each other, we connected at some level. Perhaps as you helped me with my loneliness, I must have helped you with yours. You know, there was one point in our third or fourth meeting when you told me what it would take for a therapist to notify authorities about his patient. Do you remember this?
Mm-hmm.
This is when I began to think that you might be able to help me in a bigger way.
So I became your ticket home.
It's not that simple, Paul. I felt we had made a true connection.
You know, there isn't much in this world that I hold sacred, but one of the things that I do is trust. And trust with my patients.
I cannot be the only patient who ever liked
You deliberately deceived me. You lied to me. You fucking used me. You don't seem to realize what an incredibly disturbing thing you've done. You treat every relationship that you have in this self-serving way. Because apparently you no longer care what your son thinks about you, what your grandchildren think of you.
I do care, Paul. But the fact is, my son and his family will be better off without me.
Do you really believe that?
My son has been in a terrible, terrible situation. My presence in his home has meant a great anguish for him. I'm sure when I'm gone, things will be much simpler.
You may never see your grandkids again. Do you understand that? You're being deported. And where are you going to live?
I'll be fine.
Do you have friends, family?
No family. The friends were mostly my wife's friends. They will tire of me quickly.
How are you going to earn money? Eat.
I'll find a way. You must understand, Paul. You have given me the greatest gift one friend can give to another. The opportunity for me to live my life in the manner I choose. Not Julia, not my son, not even Kamala. I would rather be a poor man begging on the streets of Calcutta than stay one more day here in America, dependent, useless, without purpose. And I know you understand something of what I'm telling you. Please do not question my future peace and happiness. The freedom that I'll feel in Calcutta is not only physical. Something inside me has opened as well. It has to do with Malini. Everything I told you about Malini was true.
So she did take her own life. And she did jump off that bridge.
Yes. You don't believe me?
How how am I supposed to know what to believe now, Sunil?
Paul, it is absolutely vital that you believe me. After they found her body, an autopsy was performed. It was discovered that she was pregnant. It was still early on, only 6 weeks. In many ways, she was sparing me what few young men could handle. She thought this child would bring shame to me and my family. So in fact, she was doing much more than simply taking her own life. And when we argued for the last time on the steps of library, I had no idea that she was carrying my child.
And you never saw her again?
And this is what really happened, Paul. I hope you believe me. I'm sorry that I resisted speaking of this with you earlier.
Yeah.
I thought I had left Malini in the past, but clearly I had not.
1 minute.
So now you know everything. You know, I've thought about going to speak with her parents. Perhaps they're still alive. Or perhaps I'll go to the Howrah Bridge and stare down at the water. I hope someday you'll forgive me.
I hope so too.
I'm grateful to you, Paul. You've helped me with Malini and also to speak about Kamala. You are a good therapist. But more importantly for me, you are a good man. Will you be okay? Sometimes I worry about you.
What do you worry about?
I know what it is to feel such loneliness. And I hope that you will someday free yourself from this.